Welcome back to Gear Up with Gear Up. I'm your host, Amr Hatoum, also the owner of Gear Up Surplus. I appreciate the support of a local and small business, so thank you all for that. Back to school is coming up. Stop procrastinating. You have to go to school. Face masks, backpacks, t-shirts, shorts, patches, self-defense items. We got you covered here. Obviously, I got a bunch of new patches here that are great for all the kids going back to school to decorate your bags and whatnot. Also, August 19th, which is actually yesterday from when I'm recording this video, officially ended Operation Iraqi Freedom. On that date in 2010, we withdrew our last combat forces out of Iraq, officially ending Operation Iraqi Freedom. A new name would dawn on September 1st. You can read all about that in our newest blog post, which can be found at www.gearupfl.com. I'll also put a link on that below. Here at the store, we have a couple items here for our Iraqi Freedom veterans, including hats, and we got some stickers so you can put on your car. Special shout out to Yadira Perez, a loyal customer, great person. She served over there and provided me with some really cool pictures. Thank you, Yadira, for your service. Thank you to all the men and women who served our country now and who served, and especially those ones who fought in Iraq for our continued freedom that we take for granted here in this country. So I am standing over here by our shorts, and I'm not here to try to sell you on our great shorts that are very comfortable and highly durable and reasonably priced. I'm actually here to talk to you a little bit about camo. So back in 1990, with our first true military test in the Middle East, we had to wear a desert camouflage. And the camo pattern we used was the 6-color chocolate chip desert camo. This was actually made and came up with from testing in the Southwest United States, which is where we got the concept of the rocks and blending in the shade. This is one of the more controversial camos we've rocked. A lot of people hated it. Some people love it. But the overall effectiveness in the Middle East and desert terrains, not very good. So, in the 1990s, during the Persian Gulf War, the U.S. began officially starting to mandate a new camouflage pattern to become more effective. And this did not happen until actually Saudi Arabia, at the end of the 80s, decided to contract U.S. to help them come up with a new camouflage pattern. So while in Saudi Arabia, they tested different camouflages on vehicles as well as on personnel to see what blended in and worked both daytime and nighttime. Combined that with 10 different sites in the Southwest United States, from New Mexico, Arizona, to Southern California, throughout the U.S., they decided to do even more testing. And that is where they came up with the more popular 3-color desert camo, or the coffee stain camo, as many people around military circles know it as. And that camouflage actually is this pattern, which we have pants, shorts, t-shirts, some bandanas and stuff in this pattern. Now, this pattern was approved for combat and war officially in 1996 when the chocolate chip camo was retired, and was worn by all of our forces during Operation Enduring Freedom, which was against Afghanistan and the Taliban, and in Operation Iraqi Freedom, which is why I am talking about this now. So this is the camouflage that they used in Iraq and was very effective and a lot more reliable, besides it being a pretty simple pattern, but it did the job. And the reason they call it the coffee stain camo is because the brown there looks as if it would be the same color of a coffee stain. It's also called tri-desert camo because it's 3 different patterns of brown within the unit. So this became the camo pattern worn by our forces throughout, but they began figuring out that the Middle East desert actually has some greenery around it. So although this was good in blending in and not as noticeable, they needed to come up with some newer patterns over time, which they started to do in 2004 and 2005. But what you would see with many of our troops, and you can see in the blog post, even with the Yadira wearing one of the pictures, is troops would wear this camo and combine it with the famous woodland camo by wearing vests or such over it to blend in with the greenery and the trees and stuff. So that was the logic behind combining these two camo patterns while out in the field. Pretty interesting stuff. Eventually, the tricolor desert camo would be officially retired throughout, and the Army would switch to the ACU pattern. This combined the desert as well as some of the greenery that you would see in the Middle East. And this is a camouflage the Army wore for many years. They now have switched to the multi-cam OCPs, which we do have in store as well. And this screams Army. Shout out to Jeremiah. I know you posted a picture recently wearing this stuff, so thank you for your service as well. So while the Army went to this pattern, the Marines went to their MARPAT, and the Marines also came up with a DC with their DCUs. And that is their version of Desert Digital Camo. Now, this is the most popular desert camo pattern now. You see a lot of people wearing and training with it, and the Marines still wear this pattern out there. And it all started with the tricolor desert camo. So although it's retired now, it was still highly effective and reliable for U.S. forces. And in fact, that camo is very popular among many collectors in the military surplus world. Finally, that same camo is worn by many countries today, including Saudi Arabia, Thailand, Dominican Republic, and a lot of other countries out in the African and Middle East region. So a little bit of history for you about the camouflage patterns that we actually used during Operation Iraqi Freedom. And we have those patterns along with many more camo patterns in shorts, t-shirts, tank tops, pants. So come gear up at Gear Up with yourself and look good in some military style camo. That about wraps up this episode of Gear Up with Gear Up. I want to thank you all for watching. Please follow us on social media at Gear Up FL. On Facebook, you can type in Gear Up Surplus, all spaces, and we should pop up. Website www.gearupfl.com. We ship nationwide, so place your orders today. I'm actually standing in our survival outdoor camping type room, and hurricane season is amongst us. I'm going to get into details about some great items we have in the store, but if you stop in the store, this is the room for you. We have an entire first aid and self-defense wall. We have our camo tees and boonie hats. We have some great flashlight options in this room as well as in our main room. We have tarps, insect repellents, water filtration in canteens, and we have an entire survival wall to gear you up with your bug out bags as well as for hurricane season. So stop on in the store. We're open 7 days a week. Visit us online. We're open 24/7. We ship sometimes the same day that you place your orders, even the next day at times. And I appreciate you all watching. Hope to see you soon.